Good morning. This is Django Reinhardt. Every metalhead in the school should be thankful for Django Reinhardt. He invented the guitar solo. He was one of the greatest guitar players of the 20th century. I want you to watch him carefully. Watch how he plays. See if you can notice anything unusual about it. He was born in 1910 to a Roma family, and they lived in those traditional wagons that you would see Romany folk travelling in. Unfortunately, when he was 18 years old, he knocked a candle over. And that candle caused a fire in the house. He was badly burned in this fire, barely escaping with his life. He was burnt particularly badly down one side, and he had to spend the rest of his life walking on a cane. He had to spend over 18 months in hospital being treated. But what was particularly damaging for Django Reinhardt is that his fourth finger and his fifth finger on his left hand were badly burned. And he was told he would never play a musical instrument again. And Django Reinhardt's whole life was based around the guitar. But instead of giving up, Django Reinhardt went away and learned to play the guitar with 3 fingers. Doing that, he completely reinvented the way the guitar was played. He invented guitar jazz, and that had a huge impact on European jazz, giving it a very distinctive style. Django Reinhardt was the only European jazz musician at the time who was highly respected by the American jazz players who were making jazz popular. As I've said, without Django Reinhardt, we wouldn't have guitar solos, we wouldn't have had Jethro Tull or many of the groups that led to modern heavy metal. He's one of the most important musicians of all time. And the reason is he completely reinvented himself and the way the guitar is played. You guys get asked a lot about your talents. What are you good at? What are your best subjects? And those are good questions to ask, but they're not the big questions. Django Reinhardt wasn't born with the ability to play the guitar with 3 fingers. Nobody could do that until he invented that style of playing. The bigger question is, what do you treasure? Jesus told a parable about a man who discovered treasure in a field that he had been hired to work in. After he discovers the treasure, he buries it and he goes and he sells everything that he owns so that he can buy the field to get the treasure. The point being that when you treasure something, you will sacrifice everything for it. Just like God made a sacrifice for you because he treasured you. And just like we should surrender our lives to him, sacrificing everything in return to accept the treasure he bought for us, forgiveness and acceptance. Django Reinhardt invented a new style of guitar playing because he treasured playing the guitar, and he was not going to allow his injuries to hold him back. You can tell he treasured the guitar by what he was prepared to dedicate to doing. No one's born to play the guitar with a lame hand. You don't get that talent at birth. You have to work for that. And real talent costs you something. So stop worrying about what you can and you can't do. Focus on what you love. If you love something, you'll sacrifice at it. When you sacrifice for it, you'll improve. When you improve, you get talent. When you get talent, you get self-respect. So those are the questions I want you to think about this morning. What would you be willing to sacrifice for? What do you love enough to dedicate yourself to? Is there a job or a hobby or a sport or an organisation you'd give hours of your life to be better at and better for? If there isn't, find one. Take a look around your rooms. Is there anyone in your room this morning who has a talent that they don't believe that they had? What could you do to make that person believe in the treasure they already have?